Welcome, coaches, to another episode of the IFCA Journal podcast. I'm your host, PJ Hedgerton. I would like to welcome our guest. Now, I'm going to say his name first because he is the living legend. You might as well call him the governor of Stanton, Iowa. Donnie Hicks, he's a Hall of Fame coach. I'm going to read his bio before I begin. He is a great friend of mine, a mentor, someone that oh my God, I've looked up to my whole career, still do. We speak probably, I'm going to say probably once a month, twice a month, depending on if I remember to call. But it's just like he's just like he's a family member to me. So I'll read his bio, okay? Um, Again, like I said, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He started his career, his first and only coaching job, opportunity teaching, AD, and all the things was at Stanton. Okay. Was it 40? It was 45 years ago.
In 1969 is when I started, so it's long ago than that.
1969, he started at Stanton, Iowa. His first and only job, he was the head coach there for football for 42 years. He coached basketball for 33. He did track for 30, baseball for 25. He also drove the bus, by the way, just letting you know. And that generation of coaches, they did it all. Okay. He was a state championship coach in 2007. He even beat the bricks off of me in that year as well. He had a really good group of kids. Some of the other accolades, he's KMA Eberly Family Legacy Award winner. He has a football field named after him there in Stanton. State coach of the year several times, regional coach of the year several times, district coach of the year several times, Hall of Fame in football and basketball. Now, if you can check my references, but I think he might be the only one for football and basketball. I know there's a couple for football and wrestling, but I think he might be the first one in football and basketball. He was a Iowa Shrine Bowl coach. He was also athletic director for 15 years there. He was a regional athletic director of the year one year. Um, he has a wonderful wife, Linda, who he's been married to for 58 years, two kids, three grandkids, and two great great grandkids. Okay. So our guest tonight is the legend, Donnie Hicks. What's up, coach? How you doing, man?
Very good. Thanks, PJ. I think you made me a whole lot better than what it really is, but thank you.
Well, I tell you what, yeah, this is a privilege for me to actually sit down here and have a conversation with you who, I mean, we've been friends forever, and again, you almost feel like an uncle slash dad type of person to me. Oh man, it's this is an honor just to talk to you about that, and I got a couple butt kickings that you put on me a couple times as well. But I'm proud of my one win against you. That's all. I'm proud of the one. Um, yeah. So, all right. Well, let's get into again our topic today, coaches. Is again, it's basically your transition from 8-man or from 11-man football to 8-man. And then we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of just growth as a coach, as a young coach in the profession. There's going to be a lot of different topics that we kind of hit on here. Again, this is a Hall of Fame guy, so any nuggets that he shares, any knowledge he shares, is a blessing to us all. So again, I'm taking notes, and hopefully you guys are as well. All right, you ready? You ready, Donnie? All right. What is your coaching philosophy and how did you establish it?
It's 1969. I'm like 22 years old, and I think it evolved. Uh, I had just been hired straight out of college in Northwest Missouri, and played baseball in college at Northwest Missouri, and a little bit of basketball, but not much. And get hired to coach football, basketball, baseball, and track. So I think I was just trying to keep my head above water to start with. You try to learn as you go along. I know I was green, truthfully, you're 4 years older than your senior football players.
Yeah.
I really think it evolved. So I think when I first started, it was just I knew I had to work really hard and try to because Stanton was small compared to the other schools in the conference, enrollment wise. Did not have a good history of football. They had won very, very few games at 11-man football. So I felt like I had to outwork anybody, and I felt like I had to set a really good example and probably enthusiasm. Then over the years, you kind of establish a culture of trust, good discipline. You try to surround yourself with good people, good athletes, but also good coaches and good fellow coaches, etc. And being blessed, I was blessed being in a really a good community. Stanton's a great community, really good school. Still just Stanton. We haven't ever gone in with anyone else. And from there, other things evolved, like be humble, be a good person. Uh, I put above the locker room, kind of later in my career, the initials GTGTG, and the kids would tap that when they would go into the after practice, and that stood for give the glory to God. It's not just you that's doing these things. I wanted them to no trash talk. Let your actions speak for themselves on the field. And I think for the most part, we tried to emulate that and did a good job with it.
Yeah, I would say you did a great job at it. That's good. Okay, so let's get into your transition, okay? Because and again, I have never talked to you about your transition from 11 man to 8 man. We've always just kind of known each other, and then we just always clicked. But okay, what was your transition from 11 man to 8 man like? And if you can, kind of hit on the 32 year. Like I didn't know you were 32 years at 11 man. You know,
33 actually, 33
33. Yeah.
years. Yeah, with 11 man. And with 11 man in a small school, and I know you've gone through this. You try to hide your weaknesses because you got some. You don't have 11 strong people at every position, so you try to hide those weaknesses. And in 8 man, it was a really good fit for us in Stanton because you don't have as many weaknesses to hide. Although when you're playing 8 man, well, you can spot the weaknesses really, really fast. But
Really fast, yep.
90s somewhere in there, Bernie Sagov, who some may not know, but he was the executive secretary of the association. He was down to Stanton, and we went out for supper, and he told me, he said, "Boy, if you can get 20 teams, we'll do 8 man football." Well, I didn't have anything to do with getting those 20. And we weren't the first. There were a lot of other schools that went to 8 man before we did, but he kind of, you know, planted the seed that they were willing to do an 8 man and help to save these small schools. So I think once we knew that, after a few years, we went to the 8 man, and it was just a really good fit for us. We had we were blessed with during that period of time with some really good athletes. I mean, actually, we had 40 some, almost 50 kids out for football.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
I think transition wise, um, defensive end is totally different. I think defense is harder than the offense. I thought offense was really easy to switch to. Defensively, a lot harder. You have to have really solid linebackers. You've got to have. I used to have an 11 man. A lot of times play safeties were the smallest kids, athletic kids, but small kids. And in 8 man, I usually had a pretty good size I'd call him pretty studly type of athlete back there because he's your last line of defense. And with 8 man, if you don't make the tackles, it's a touch.
Gone. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So he's a great guy and good friend of mine. And he was down to Stanton one time. And he said, Don, you switched to 8 man. He said, are we going to miss if we don't look at 8 man players? He said, are we going to miss some players? I said, you got to look at them because I said, a great athlete is a great athlete. And it wasn't too long after that, they had 3 8 man players starting on the defensive line at the university.
How did your weekly organization and your practice preparation change?
It helped me a lot. I retired 3 times. The first time I retired was when like 22 years ago, I think it was. And so I was actually, and they hired me back right away. So I was coaching football and doing AD and only teaching a couple of classes. And so I felt like I became a whole lot better coach then because I had more time. And that would be uh, our best success. The 2000s. During that 9 years there, I think we only lost 12 games total in a period of time. So I think there's only so much time, so you got to be organized. That's what I would tell coaches: be organized, and we get involved. We get involved. Go to class. Etc. And I'll talk about that later if we. Uh, this was all before bound, so I didn't really experience that. And it was the old scouting method back then. You exchange tapes, which I think is doesn't happen anymore. So everything looks to me a lot easier than what it used to be. But I think it's just time management. I would say and recommend that any coach.
What key advice do you have for young coaches coming into the profession?
Well, I think one of the most important things for a young coach is coming into the profession would be to really get involved uh, in every aspect of football in your community with your kids. Be really hard worker. Set a almost a perfect example for the kids to follow. Because I think if you do that, the kids will follow you and be what you want them to be. I think that's one of the things I really tried to do, particularly in a small community. Everybody's watching you, and and some want you to succeed, and some probably want you to fail. But I think if you set that example and show the hard work, you're going to be in good shape. Also, I think it's really important if the young coaches get involved in your coaches association. I think that is really, really, really important to do because you meet other coaches, you get other ideas, you try different things, defenses, offenses. I think I've run probably just about every offense that was out there, and I think that was good to meet coaches, be involved. I've been involved with the Coaches Association for over 40 some years now, continually. I was past president in 2002 and 3, I believe it was. And eh, once you do that, you're a permanent member of the board. So even though I'm not coaching, I still like to know what's going on. And I kind of pretty much just sit there and listen anymore and try to see what the young coaches have to say. But I think that's really important.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. The relationships you meet, I mean, it's about relationships, right? And
It is
anytime you can
definitely.
you can call and you call and talk to a coach, a Hall of Fame coach, then that's great. All right, that moves right into the next one. Okay, what was it like for you coaching in the same community for over 40 years? Being in the same community, you raised your kids in the same community. Like it's like when I think of Stanton, I think of Donnie Hicks.
Well, it's kind of unusual, I think, today, and particularly like to coach all the sports. Nobody wants to do that anymore, So obviously, I'm sure the kids probably got tired of me because had me in every sport, but it was good. It was good. It's a good community. I was lucky and I was blessed to be in this community and establish great friends, great friendships, and I don't I wouldn't trade it for the world. We raised our children here, and both Lynn and Leslie were good athlete, not great athletes, but they were able to, participate and go to state and track and football and basketball, and if they were in a larger school, they wouldn't have been able to do those things. They've really got a
Right.
well-rounded education, and both have been successful in life. So, I can't say how important that was for me. It's not probably not the greatest for everybody, but it worked for me.
Well, good. Good, 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 good. All right, our goofy question again. You and I have been again. We've had our technical difficulties, so we've heard this line over and over again. So, tell me a little bit about the little white city. Hopefully, Lord willing, this is our last time talking about it.
Well, Stanton is, known as the Little White City, or I'm sorry, it used to be known as the Little White City. Uh, it,
Yeah,
uh
yeah, because you don't want to get canceled nowadays.
no, no. No, it for years and years, because, uh, when the railroad went through, Stanton had a white depot, which was quite unusual, and they'd go through and they say, "Hey, there's a little white city." So that kinda became the trademark for the city, or the town, I should say. So they actually painted the houses white. Most all the houses were painted white, even though there was no ordinance for it, but all that's changed now. The signs are gone. We're a much more diverse community than they were the first, I would say the first 100 years of their existence. So, no longer the
Yeah.
little white city. Mhm.
And coaches, again, we joke because we coached against each other, and again, he was going towards the end of his career, and I was just starting my young career, and, we met midfield, and I remember saying to him, "What is the deal with your sign?" And we laughed about it, and he explained it was one of those where, like I said, he's one of my greatest friends in the profession, and we had a good time with it. So, all right, how can coaches if coaches want to, reach out to you and talk to you, what's a good email for you?
My email is, dhicks@stantonschools.com.
Okay. All right. Well, Coach Hicks, thank you so much for your time for a third time. Hopefully, we nail it this time. But thank you so much for doing this and taking the time, we appreciate everything that you've done for our youth and our coaches association and people. So we really appreciate you, brother.
Well, thanks, PJ. I appreciate what you're doing, and I think having the podcast is a great idea, and to me, it's better than the journal, and I've enjoyed
It
listening to other coaches
Yeah.
and that you've interviewed.
Well, thank you, thank you. All right, coaches, if you again, if you want to share this out with your other assistant coaches or the head coach or your youth coaches, you can share these podcasts out anyway. Again, we're all in it together, educating each other, and like we always say on the podcast, keep grinding.
Very good.